Everyone has a story to share that shapes the very foundations of who we are. And sometimes these stories become obstacles that we can't move past, and we find ourselves stuck. A Modern Shaman is an original podcast series that shares these stories, the shit we all go through, and the ability to overcome it. Get ready to laugh, cry, and become inspired as we share and find comfort in the stories that connect us. Join your hosts, Shaman Isabella and Kimberly Harlan, each week on A Modern Shaman, as they explore ways for you to discover healing, growth, and joy. Learn how letting go of trauma can open up a world full of beauty that awaits us all. So, can we ask you, what's your story? This is A Modern Shaman.
Hello and welcome back to A Modern Shaman with Kim and I.
With Isabella and me. How are you?
20th episode. Oh, it's the 20th episode. My birthday is June 20th and the solstice is on its way.
Summertime. Summertime.
So yeah, the summer solstice, renewal, rebirth.
Yeah.
I was born on the 20th. Well, it's the 21st, right? So
yeah.
21st.
Yeah. It is the longest day of the year. It's light forever. It's
that's interesting when you say that, light forever. Like I was born in the the day before. So, but still on the lightest day ever, or the longest light day, I came into this world on a day that it would be light.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what else? I gave birth on the solstice.
Talk about renewal.
Talk about rebirth or birthing, just the whole thing. I know. Yeah. I think that's a great little connection that you and I have to the solstice, the summer solstice.
Your son is actually on the 21st.
Yes.
I'm on the 20th. The other interesting thing is that major relationships in my life. So the dead husband, December 21st, winter solstice.
Yes.
Victoria's father, fall equinox, September 21st. My fiance that I am going to marry, Luis, March 21st. So spring equinox. So now we've got summer, we've got winter solstice, spring equinox, and fall equinox, and I am summer solstice. So I have all four seasons within my, within my realm. I always trip out on that. I'm like, that's weird.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? The solstice.
I'm a very well-rounded individual.
Well, that goes without saying.
I don't know what that means to me. I just think it's trippy. I think like when you want to, pay attention to the unseen world, when you're looking for signs, or you're looking at, things like that synchronicities or like when we were just now talking about this show today and the butterfly flew, big orange monarch went.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're meant to talk about that. Yeah. So paying attention to, you say that's the unseen world, although it comes out as an actual bird or, feather on the ground or penny or butterfly, it's like the unseen world talking to us through the animal kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much of that if you're just aware of it. Numbers, numerology, when you see 11:11 on the clock. I used to see my birthday everywhere and like on a bus number or something. And, but it was only for a period. I believe that somebody was sending me a message from the other side. And every time I saw it, I would go to her immediately. But she moved on and then it stopped.
I see license plates numbers, like when they're trying to get my attention or telling me like everything's going to be okay. The license plates are just constant 222, 444, 999, 666, 666. So 6 is a really big number for me. I'm born 6 2060.
Uh-huh.
My mom died. Oh, and I'm a 6 life path.
Okay.
Right. My mom died 6/26/06
Wow.
on
Wow.
my 46th birthday.
Wow.
Now that is like, so I'm always saying, you know, I'm changing the vibration of 666, because if everything is what you feel into, if everything is like, if you're manifesting or you're feeling into something and you look at a number and it makes you have a negative vibe, shift it.
Yeah.
Be like, well, don't be fearful of that. It's just a number. You know, it's like, it's just a thing. It's just a whatever's causing fear. And I think that, you know, we're inundated with so much fear all the time. Just, you know, I'm fearful that I'm not as good looking as the girl on the magazine, or I'm fearful that I'm body conscious about my weight, or I'm fearful of my taxes. And, you know, taxes is a great one. So with taxes, what I do is when I have to pay a lot of taxes, I just say to myself, wow, you must have made a lot of money this year. Good girl.
I learned that at a certain point also, that if you are not like all mad and fearful and upset and pissed off about what you have to pay out, but if you find the gratitude in being able to pay what you just got to pay in this world, like that changes, that shifts it.
Yeah.
I will sit down and, you know, write out a check for whatever, and I'm like, but I have the money, I can do this.
Yes. And
Even if that's all I've got, I can do this. And I'm grateful for that.
Years and years, I don't remember, maybe 25 years ago, I started writing blessings in the memo.
Oh, that's good.
I would write gratitude, or I'd
Who's this crazy lady writing me a check?
like, you know, just something like just grateful that I have, even if it's the only money I have, right?
Yes, gratitude. Yes. And then the more you send out in terms of money energy, it just creates space to receive more back.
Well, and at this age, you know, we know that the universe isn't going to drop us on our ass now, you know. We know,
and even if it does, there's going to be a reason and a lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's easy or fun or
give over the lessons.
Right.
Okay, first, I'm good. I've learned everything I need to learn. Touch wood.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
so fear.
Pick a card. Pick a card. Or go. Fear. Yeah, but let's do a good vibes card, because I feel like saying that, you know, trust the universe has your back is a great time to pull a card. And
okay, so I shuffled.
Connect with the earth. She is your mother. Yes. So when I wrote that card, I was thinking of how we normally pray. So we can go back to the fear we were talking about, right? And like, get me out of this. God, I'll never do it again if you just get me out of this one, right? Or you know, I have so much fear and worry and anxiety. Just pray to have that taken. But we don't normally, I mean, indigenous cultures do, but normally we're not putting our seeds in the ground. And there goes that same butterfly. Gosh, I wish I could turn this around. It's just flying right in a circle in the front yard. We don't go into the earth and pray to the earth first. So what I was teaching was go to the earth first. Then thank yourself for coming to the planet to shift or do or be in releasing karma or whatever. And then say, thank you, God, or beings, or whatever it is you believe in. Thank you, universe. But I really believe it has to start here. It has to start. And that's when I make the despacho ceremonies that we make at the Modern Shaman restaurant in Whittier. Little plug for that beautiful space you're in. And it's to honor the earth. It's to give back our prayers, because literally we manifest here on earth.
Yes. And we require so much of this earth, this planet, but she's here for us. Even all the bad shit, the crazy,
Even the
horrible
crazy times we're in right now. And you know, honey, that leads perfect into our topic for today.
I know you touched on fear, and I think that
Not our topic for today.
no, but my fear
Yeah.
feeds into the topic for today because I'm afraid of what we're going to talk about. I also feel like this card I just pulled, connect to the earth. The earth gives us plants. The earth gives us everything.
Yeah. Food,
100%.
shelter, water, like everything.
So I have built a whole business off of plant-based food. There's a different aspect of the way plants gift to us to create growth and evolution at the soul level. So we're going to talk about plant medicine today. Again, I have fear about this whole subject. So
why? Why do you
questions for you?
I really, yeah. But okay, well, let's ask the question first, why you have fear, and then you can ask me questions and I will tell you all my deep, dark secrets.
Okay, I am not like prudy or anything like that about what people choose to do to their bodies. The only thing that upsets me is when people damage them through eating like crap and smoking, ingesting toxins. And why would you do that to yourself? But we're basically raised in this country to do that. We are groomed to get sick. That's a whole
other show.
That's a whole other show right there. I would probably be more willing to jump out of an airplane and go skydiving than to ingest something that people say will open my mind or
alter your consciousness.
Alter my consciousness. Maybe that's it. It's a control thing. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. So let's talk about ayahuasca.
Okay, number one. So
start off with the big dog.
So there's, yes, ayahuasca. So many people ask me, oh, you've been to Peru. Oh, you work with shaman. You have a restaurant called Modern Shaman. Like, have you done ayahuasca? Because I just did it yesterday. I'm like, how are you sitting here right now? Like, what is this? So there's also that. There's this, there's a great documentary on, it used to be on Netflix called The Last Shaman. And it's about tourism ayahuasca. So people who have just treating it as, smoke some weed, let's do, or do ayahuasca. And I know it needs to be ceremonial. It needs to be respected. So how does that all work?
Okay. So where do I start? I have so much to say just about that one plant. But so I did my first journey and heard about ayahuasca for the first time in 2007.
Here in at home?
In Peru.
Okay, you're in Peru.
I'm in Peru, my first time down there with the Four Winds.
Uh-huh.
And drank, not a lot. It was a big group and, enough, but not a lot.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep interrupting you to get little clarities along the way. I have seen it before. I've been invited to do it. I'm like, it looked to me like a big jar of brown, muddy shit water. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Okay.
It's a taste that you will never forget.
Tastes nasty.
I can still feel it going down my throat. So, I tripped, you poop, you throw up. I mean,
okay, I'm out. Oh,
it's right a whole thing. It was extremely cleansing. So I had an okay experience. I had some Peruvian shamans visit me in my visions. People had like wild stories they came out of. I didn't have all that. I had one guy fought with the serpent all night and then died and then realized he had been given up earlier. and just died earlier, he would have had a better trip. You know,
Wait, this is a guy. Okay, so are you in a group, like a room full of people? Then you're all on ayahuasca.
Outside in like a underneath thing. I remember crawling underneath.
Jungle?
No, this was like part of Alberto Violdo's Four Winds Illuminati trip. It's Illuminati. That's not what it's called.
I was gonna say, oh,
The Illuminati trip. Isn't that funny?
Illuminati is a great word. Too bad that's what it means.
Illumination trip, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it was called, I don't know what it's
Okay.
called, the same thing now. I am probably, because we learned the technique of illuminations, I bet you anything it's called the illumination trip.
That makes
But
sense.
hey, I don't know, could be the Illuminati trip.
Okay, and so you're in a group.
I was in this group.
Are there people like taking care of you and monitoring you and helping you poop and barf?
No, nobody was helping us do shit. No.
Okay.
Side by side on our own.
Okay.
This is my first experience.
Okay.
While still on that trip in 2007, I was introduced to my San Pedro shaman.
Okay, San Pedro, what's that?
Pedro is okay. So let's talk about the difference, right? So there's much to me, and yes, there's iboga and peyote and all kinds of stuff I haven't done. But my three mushrooms, San Pedro, Wachuma was called Wachuma, and ayahuasca, right? So the first thing I did was ayahuasca in 2007, and I met this woman who became my very, very close friend, and I would fly her out here to do San Pedro ceremonies. And I started doing San Pedro ceremonies for people, and people told me I could do ayahuasca, and I wouldn't touch that. No, thank you. But Wachuma, San Pedro, I could do, and then mushrooms. I've led those.
Okay, so you have a preconceived notion about ayahuasca, just like I do. So did you?
You really need really, to me, you need a trained jungle shaman. And I bless you guys out there that are serving ayahuasca and you can handle it and all the entities and all the things that I bless your heart. Happy that you can do that. Not my scene. For me, it's like mushrooms is the mildest.
Psilocybin.
Pedro is the next step up, and ayahuasca is the mother load. So ayahuasca is the feminine vine. It's mixed with something called chacruna root. San Pedro is the masculine cactus, and that's made a different way. And then we pretty much all know psilocybin and mushrooms. To me, they were all very similar experiences. One's just very weak, mushrooms, one's sort of middle ground, and ayahuasca, mind-blowing, depending. So I've done it a lot. Done a lot of ayahuasca. Why? I don't know. Because I don't know. I was having these experiences, and they were life-changing. They were life-changing experiences. Not every single time. Sometimes it was whatever, but I always felt like I expelled the energy of the States. And people would say, well, don't you do it in the States? And no, I would.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Medicine.
The United States.
Yeah, to me.
Not your mental states or your emotional
the state
states.
in the United States. Now, one time an ayahuasca shaman reached out to me. He was doing ceremonies in Oregon and asked me to come. And I went to that, and it was interesting. But just like I thought, my vibe doesn't want to drink here. My vibe wants to drink in Peru. So there's many, many stories, but the biggest one for me, which I really wanted to talk about today, and I could probably write a book on all these stories, but one year, I guess it was, God, that's a good story too. But one year, I don't know what year it was, and probably 2009. I think it was 2009.
Okay.
And we were on something called Monkey Island. So we're all laying out on blankets in the sand in the jungle. And the shaman, who was a master, Panduro, and he's since passed on, bless his heart.
Was he Carol?
He wasn't, no. Caro don't do ayahuasca.
I didn't think so.
Caro, if they would do San Pedro, because they're from the mountains.
Okay.
They're from Cusco. They're in the Andes Mountains, so that's where that's where the cactus grows. The ayahuasca and chacruna root grow in the jungle.
Got it.
So he was saying, start at your birth. As the medicine starts to come into your system, ayahuasca will take you through your life and stop you where you need work. So
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
it was so interesting. So I went through the trip in my life, and then all of a sudden I was lying, and this actually happened, okay? I was lying on a balcony in between two doors.
Okay.
My hands like this.
Like a corpse?
I
Like
was
you're in a coffin with your
still
hands
with
crossed over your heart?
my toe on the screen door of the other house and the little latch going ting, ting, ting. And the police standing with my soon-to-be husband with a picture of me saying, this actually happened, okay? This is a real story that happened to me. I'll back up a minute. I'll tell you the story. So my heroin dealing husband had just got a big load of heroin, and they were in the back room cutting it up. And I was supposed to be on point looking for cops.
Okay.
So I'm 14 years old. I've got on this little tiny wraparound long skirt, a little tiny tube top tied here, and there's shit everywhere. Television sets, clothes, like stolen goods everywhere. I'm sitting at the huge picture window, like I'm sitting at now, looking, not thinking cops are coming, you know what I mean? But I'm probably smoking a joint, looking, hi. And here they come, cop cars on both sides like this, and a helicopter.
Oh my God.
Ran to the back of the room, and I go,
Oh my God.
cops are here. And I ran out of the door, squished down, because it's okay. So there were stairs that went up to the apartment.
Okay.
So there was a balcony, adjoining balcony, with my girlfriend lived next door with her boyfriend.
Okay.
I went out of the balcony. I banged on her door. She was there just a few minutes before, so she knew what was happening. And she didn't, and I laid down, like it all happened like in a flash, and the cops are underneath me banging on the door. Right. So my husband, well, soon to be husband, thinks I'm gone. He thinks I'm next door at Candace's house. I'm lying like this, and I can't let the screen door close because they'll hear it downstairs. So I've got my toe, the big toe on the screen door, her screen door, the latch going. Our screen door was closed. Those balconies came out of, it was on Clinton Avenue in Hollywood, out of a closet, right? So him and the cop are standing in the closet above me, imagine, like this. And I can hear everything they say. Mm-hmm. And I'm right there, just trying not to breathe. And he said, have you seen this girl? Her parents are worried about her. And my husband says, yeah, I saw her around here for a while, but I haven't seen her recently. And he said, the cop goes, well, she's a runaway. So if you see her, please call me. Here's my card. And he leaves.
That's why they were there. Not because of stolen TVs and heroin. Oh, it's all you, girl. Oh my God. Everything that was okay. That was a lot.
And that was a lot. No, wait, it gets better now. Here we go. Now I'm in the jungle. So here we are 100 years later. I'm in the jungle.
Okay.
And I'm lying there, and ayahuasca makes me stop right there.
At that scene in your head?
Scene in my life.
Okay.
And with ayahuasca help, I stand up and I open the door and I tell the cop, here I am. And he takes me, I'm going to cry. And he takes me home to my mom. And I live a different life.
Wow.
And so that shifted me in such a profound way.
Wow.
That after that experience, I was a different person. Like I had cleared the trauma and the addiction and the battered wife and all the things I put myself through to be the shaman I am today. But it just shifted me. And the rest of the experience was a beautiful experience. I don't even remember. I just remember going home to my mom, everything being okay, me staying. And then I think I probably just started seeing colors and tripping out on the ayahuasca or whatever happened. And then a story I told in a show not too long ago about victim mentality and
Right.
claiming myself back from this woman who was my best friend. It was right after that experience.
Right.
So the person that I was when I went with her on that trip, who was empowered woman that had got her life together and had been together for 20 years, still was not whole, still was victim until that experience. That ayahuasca took me out of that experience so quickly that when she, did what she did, I was able to see her in a different light and not be open to that behavior anymore. It was profound. So yes, I went back and did it again. And then I was asked to speak at an ayahuasca conference in the jungle in Iquitos in 2010, I think it was. And so I'm in this, all the big bad ayahuasquero men, and nobody's translating for me, I'm just
this blonde lady from Orange County. That's so funny.
Right. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, I really, they all got up and talked about their ayahuasca and come and drink with me. And this was the beginning of the tourism ayahuasca. Next year, they're killing.
God. Okay, that kind of makes sense why they put you up there.
So I went and I did a live healing. So I was like, I'm just going to do what I do. I talked a little bit about my past and couldn't understand me, whatever. Got the guy from the audience, did it. And I have photographs of that. I have photographs of me giving that kid a healing on that stage. The only person who came up to me after was an old ayahuasquero woman with missing teeth. And she came up, she was a little tiny woman. She came up to me and she was like, la luz, I'm blah, blah, blah. And she went on. And I know what she was saying was, you are the light and I can see your light. I see what you did for that man on stage and I can feel you. And I could feel everything she was saying. And I know la luz means the light, but it was a beautiful, profound experience. Wow. And I met a man named Javier Arevalos, who I think is written about in books. And I went to drink with somebody else. And that's how I found out about, that was a trip. I found out there was energy being shut, it was a hard time for ayahuasqueros. And I helped him clear his lodge. I put mirrors up. I helped one of the people whose kids was like there was something about me and medicine woman that I didn't really want to step into. But when I was put in that scene, I had to, and I did. And that Javier, I drank with him, I think a different time. And he was the one that named me the Golden Condor. He was like, have this thing, right? Like, and he's hitting me on the head with this bush. I don't know. And he's like, oh, you shaman. Oh, you curandera. You golden condor, and he blew in my head all this gold. And some guy lying there was watching and it told me the next day, because you can't understand what anyone's saying. And he blew all this gold in your head. You just lit up. Wow. And on his land, because you got to get up and poop, right? Like you don't know where the bathroom is in the jungle, or even if there is a bathroom. And I don't know, I somehow stumbled out of the hut. I kid you not, I saw pygmies. There was nothing there. But think of like when you make the children at Christmas time that are like this, right? But pygmies. So
like
little dark.
You mean like little paper cutouts?
Yeah. Like a paper cutout. And they go like this.
Figures that are all.
They're like this. And they direct me to the bathroom. So they were the jungle spirits because would not have found the bathroom without those little guys all doing
Okay.
it.
Okay, so
Trippy, right? Oh God, I could go on.
So trippy. So in this moment where you basically saw an alternate reality or a different timeline, where you went back home to your mom and you didn't get married at 14 and you didn't go into a life of drugs and end up in prison.
Yeah.
Is that like 50 years of therapy
Yeah.
in 60 seconds? I mean, that's what I got from that. And I have a huge respect for therapy.
It wasn't 60 seconds, it was more.
It was hours.
It lasts like 4 to 8 hours. So I was on that beach for a long time. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a second, but it was a lot of process. But yeah, it is.
Why people do it. I think
it is why people do it.
Yeah.
It
But they do it hoping that will happen. Does that always happen? Or sometimes do you just
It doesn't happen. It depends on
get it
where
done and you
are.
trip and you see, like you said, you just say, I see
Nauseous the
colors.
whole time. And yeah, I mean, I've taken people on journeys. I had a doctor and she kept doing shots of it. She could not.
Why do you think?
The control of her mind. She couldn't
Or you know how sometimes your spirit guides will only show you what you are supposed to see or understand in that moment. Maybe it was not for, maybe it's not for a person.
With her, I didn't feel that. With her, I felt she could not let go of her mind. And I wonder if that would be the same for you. That you might be, there are those few people that just cannot let go of their mind.
Yeah.
I had already done so many drugs. I'd already done acid. I'd already done mushrooms. I'd already done heroin, coke. Again, you know what I mean? Like, I think it was easier for me. And my first San Pedro experience, I watched the worlds open up.
Okay, what does that mean? So how do you ingest San Pedro? It's a cactus?
Drink it the same, yeah.
So they like peel it and
cook it, they peel the cactus, they cook it, however many hours, they have to have a certain number of rings around. It's a very
technical kind of process. Okay.
And in Cusco, when the conquistadors came and they first had San Pedro, it was called Huachuma. And when they did it, they felt like St. Peter had opened the gates of heaven and they named it San Pedro.
Oh, interesting.
That's that story.
Okay.
But I don't know. I was tripping and
what does that mean?
Tripping. I don't know. I was on it and I was like watching my friend cook in the kitchen. I wasn't really with the guests that were drinking.
Okay.
I'd already done a little, I already been through a whole trip of the care on the mountains and being Black-Unaki, and then staying a few days after and getting caught up at the witches market and having, I had a lot of big initiations in my first time to Peru. I'm sitting with her and kind of not really feeling it, but just a little. And I walked in and it started raining and I watched the worlds open. It was like a whole dimension opened up in front of me. Like the world, I can't even explain it, Kim. It was like the world opened and I went through. It was like a vast universe on the other side. I just saw, it just was not, it was a portal. It was not where I was. And she says after that, I took all the guests and lined them up on all of them. I don't remember. I kind of remember seeing bodies, but lined like this in the night. And I'm blowing things in them. And whatever initiation I had, even though I negated it for 3 years and said, I'm not doing this to work. I'm not doing this to work. I'm only doing this for my own benefit, for my own soul, for my own self, for my own sense of religion or spirituality. I'm only doing this for me.
Yeah.
I'm never going to work on anybody. I don't want that responsibility.
Yeah.
When I was in an altered state, I would.
So maybe the veil, it thinned the veil between who you are in this flesh and bones situation in this life. Do you think I already know the answer. Like, do you think you've had past lives as a shaman?
Oh, God.
You're right. Right.
I had one past life.
It does come very naturally to you, even though all the other shit, the reality of this.
Yeah, I had a past life soul retrieval once when I was first starting and negating everything, even though people were feeling better, they would eat and go, that's not real. I'm too much of a Gemini in my brain. I'm like, that's not happening.
Wow.
So I would do past life soul retrieval and tell this girl, I don't know why, but I heard, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. And I see you like in the poppy fields, like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. She goes, you do know I'm from Kansas, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Like, no, I had no idea. So, people were getting better and so I had to get a healing for myself because I didn't like the way that felt. I wanted to move forward. At that point, it had been 3 years. And, I kind of mixed up my journeys, like the page at the beginning and the last story I told you was 3 years in, but whatever, regardless. Healer, you were a young shaman in a past life who died early on, but you're very, very confident. You died really young at like 14, but you were really helpful to the tribe. And I see you like sitting cross-legged with your staff. So each time, now we brought this piece of you back, each time you do a healing, you're only supposed to say, good job, and he will grow up. This part of you will grow. And I was like, that's cool. So even though I was not good enough, negating what I was doing, I stopped and I listened and I thought about that part of me from a past life. And I said, good job. But for a long time, I always said it wasn't me. It's spirit. It's not, it's not me. I'm not doing this. And I had a teacher one time, she told me, you're still negating your power and you're still in victim when you say that. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, you're not owning that you chose to come here.
Right.
These experiences and embody this shaman, then you're still victimizing yourself. There's been so many lessons.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then mushrooms, everybody now is microdosing. Everybody wants to do San Pedro. I used to have big ceremonies here at the house. I had like 10 camp, like tents. People would come here and drink San Pedro. I'm good at serving San Pedro.
So you would only do ayahuasca in Peru energy, but you'll do San Pedro in your backyard.
Yeah. This is a San Pedro house. I moved here, flew Leslie out here, and she served San Pedro when I still hadn't unpacked yet. Like we had all these people, tripping on and having experiences on San Pedro. It was beautiful. But, there comes a time where there's a time and a season for
for sure. Solstice. Do you feel like San Pedro has the same, I guess, benefits that ayahuasca does? Are they different? Are they kind of interchangeable? I know you said like ayahuasca is mind-blowing stronger, or a stronger experience.
So to me,
they serve the same purpose.
Which is weird. This is weird, right? Because it's the masculine. It's softer. Ayahuasca, which is feminine, is harsh.
That cracks me up in a way.
It's really funny. Yeah, to me, San Pedro is very gentle. You still get the lesson a year later. Well, with all plant medicine.
Okay.
So there's no need to continue to do it back to back to back to back. It can last a whole year or a whole lifetime. You do it once and that's it. My thing was around that time when it was tourism and all these people were doing it here, and kids were getting blown out, and then they were sort of in the streets and coming over here, and I was like helping them realign their spirit. So that was my no judgment. Like, great that ayahuasca is coming out and being seen, but really feel into who is the best person for you? Is 25 people in a room conducive to my spirit? Is that what's best for me?
Yeah.
It is a huge, huge money-making thing, and that's fine. I charge a lot for my services. Money's just energy, but just really not just, oh, they're drinking ayahuasca and let's go. And it's not a party drug. It's not a drug. It is a medicine, and when used properly can have a very, very profound effect. And I've seen people cure cancer with San Pedro. I'm not advertising that. I'm not saying that you can, but I have seen lots and lots at Leslie's place, a lot of.
And then third, I just want to jump back real quick to psilocybin. Somebody gave Michael, my husband, some little microdose, some little capsules. They've been sitting, that was during COVID. They have been sitting in my cupboard next to the vitamins for 2.5 years now. I won't do it. So what is it like to microdose? I did take psilocybin. I did take mushrooms once, 19 years old, went to Disneyland. The cliche, stupid young person adventure, freaked out. My boyfriend freaked out. We had to leave Disneyland and couldn't find our car in the parking lot anywhere. That was just like my only experience with it. But so
honestly,
I get that.
I've never microdosed. I don't know. I think of Korea. I have homeopathic ayahuasca and homeopathic San Pedro. And that sort of lightly shifts your reality. And I think that's probably what microdosing does. Mushrooms for me is like, I don't know, I just laugh and pee my pants, and I don't really,
Okay, a lot of peeing and pooping with this plant medicine. So you did say this very cleansing. Is that like literally?
Well, I don't know.
Cleansing those intestines?
Ayahuasca is, I don't know about the rest, but I'm a big proponent of plant medicine. I am. I think marijuana has its upsides. I think it also has a big downside because it's addictive. And I know people say it's not addictive and it's not the gateway drug and blah, 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 blah. But I've seen it grasp people and then them not be able to stop. Have to wake up and do it, and have to go to sleep. I can't do it. We can't sleep without it, and then get depressed and feel low and down. So it stops having that euphoric self-medicating thing. So I love marijuana. I just started smoking it again. I haven't smoked in forever, and I smoked a little bit and it worked for me. And I was like, yes, in the evening, I have nothing to do. And, I mean, I'm like now the one-hit wonder, but yeah, I used to smoke joints. I'd wake up, light a joint. I mean,
yeah, I did that until I was 25, all through college also, and then had the experience one day where I thought I was going to die. I had to get in my bed under the covers and hide from the world. And it scared me so bad. And it was such a profound negative experience that I've never touched it since.
Yeah, that kind of happened to not that drastically, but I was just like not liking it. So for the past few years, I just have not liked it. Also, I don't really like the smoke in my lungs. Like I'm going to be 63. So.
Yeah.
But, all in all, everything in moderation, guys, like really trust your intuition. If somebody offers you something, muscle test it, hold it up to your body. You can see if that stuff is still good by holding it up to your body and see if you vibrate. If you fall backwards, don't do it. If Michael falls forwards, he can do it. It's probably not much of anything.
Okay, interesting. So, if somebody was interested in learning more about plant medicine, other than just basically Googling it, do you have any suggestions because this has made me kind of think about it in a different way. If I could, your story about hearing the cops come to your house, not to bust out anybody because there's heroin in the house, but to just find this 14-year-old
Don't run away.
who thinks she's, a woman that can handle the world.
I think she's grown up.
Yeah, like if you could have.
I mean, I don't know where you research. Like I say, just trust your vibe. You can email me, and if I do one again, I'll let you know. Or if I ever take anyone down to the jungle or to Peru again, I'll let you know. And for you, sweetheart, if I ever do San Pedro again, I think you would do well.
I would have to for me, it's just about making the decision, yes or no, to do it. And then I think I'd be in, because I know that I'd have to relax.
This is good. If you're asking yourself this question, audience members, ask yourself why you want to do it. Write down 3 reasons, journal about it, and then ask ayahuasca to come into your life. What they say is when you're introduced to ayahuasca 3 times, you're ready for it. Like if 3 different people come up to you and we're like, introducing you to this, or I'm going to go do this, or do you want to, have you ever heard of it? So then it means that ayahuasca's actually come into your life. So then you write about it and you ask the spirits and go from there. I have a great story to end this with. So, can I answer your question? Victoria sent me a TikTok, my youngest daughter, sent me a TikTok the other day about a plane crash. Have you heard of this in the Amazon jungle?
No.
So there were 7 people on a plane.
Is this recent?
Yes. Recent.
I'm gonna go look. I have an obsession with plane crashes. I can't tell you.
Do you really? Oh,
I
that's a show for another day. Okay.
Obsessed.
So 7 people on a plane, 2 of them died. 4 of them were children.
Oh, I did hear about this, but I didn't know that it was Amazon. I just saw the headline last night when I was falling asleep.
And
for 40 days.
For 40 days, and they couldn't find the children, right? From 10 months old to 13 years old.
Okay, what happened?
When they finally found the children 40 days later, what happened was they're indigenous children, so they knew how to survive in the jungle. And the grandfather said, the spirit of the jungle has them. Even though they kept finding clues, like they found a baby bottle, they found a comb, they found something else. So even though they kept finding clues, they couldn't find them. And so the grandfather said, a spirit of the jungle has them. And so you won't find them until you come to the spirit of the jungle and ask the spirit to return the children. And so they did, and the children were returned.
Oh my God, I have chills all over my body.
I love that stuff. And it shows that indigenous children are going to survive in this world. When the world does whatever the world's going to do, we don't start teaching our children how to survive in whatever.
Yeah, to connect to the earth, because she is your mother.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect card for an ayahuasca San Pedro mushroom journey today. And I am going to say it's not the end, but it is the end of our first
season. Yes.
So episode 20 is season 1 of A Modern Shaman. And we're going to pick it back up very soon. And we really want to hear from you guys. So we want to know.
We need to, like, what if you're listening to this, maybe you're coming in and you haven't listened to the other 19 episodes, or maybe it's the opposite, but please, rate the shows, write a little review, let us know what you think. It really helps the show grow, and we need to grow right now.
Right. Or it's not so much, yes, we want to grow, but what I want to know is, what do you want us to talk about? What do you want to hear?
Yes.
So shamanisabella.com is my website, shamanisabella.com or shamanisabella@gmail.com. Go to shamanisabella@gmail.com and drop us a line and say, hey, this works for me. Hey, this doesn't work for me. Hey, this is what I'd love for you to talk about in your next season. Wrap your next season around this or that, or whatever. And, we struggled in the beginning with sound quality and getting out here with, the video, and now the sound is good and the video is great. And we're on YouTube and we're excited to bring you more content, but we really want to know what you want to hear and what you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this show is not just about us. It's about every people's stories. And
it's not about us at all. And it was a collection of women's stories and for women and about women. And I, we've had transgender, and I'd like to open it up to all, all people who are interested in storytelling and learning more about spirituality, or, wanting to challenge their religion and have more access. I mean, I've had, I have Jewish clients, Christian clients, Catholic clients, atheists, agnostics. And, I've had so many Christian clients that say, you've made my God bigger. You've helped me get a deeper connection with the God of my own understanding. And to me, that's important. To me, how you want to show up in the world is important. How I can help you be more authentic, or be more in your skin, or have a happy life.
Yeah. Oh, that's the goal. It's so hard. It's actually impossible, but to find those glimpses of happiness and joy and beauty, and that to walk with beauty is shamanism.
It's funny you say that. To walk with beauty is shamanism, but it's funny you say that it's not possible somehow, because I don't believe that. I believe that, yes, we have our trials and our tribulations, and yes, we can choose the amount of time we want to stay in that vibration, and we can pull ourselves out, and the reality might be showing up like this, but I'm just going to be grateful, and I'm just going to be happy, and I'm just going to find something that brings me joy. This crystal right here is bringing me joy. So I'm going to touch it, and I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to watch the butterfly, and I'm going to stay in the present moment, and I'm not going to go into the past or dwell about the future or look at the bank account or worry and have fear around anything, because that's what they want.
Right.
That, that whoever they are, that's what they want me to feel. And what do I want to feel? And what do I want to put on the earth? And how do I want to ring my bell and talk to the fairies and be in this alternate universe? Because I don't want to. I don't have a lot of time left on the planet.
Right. I know.
63, I'm 7 years away from 70. I don't know how much more time I have. So however much more time I have, I'm not going to do what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do what I did, for so many years of beating myself up, not feeling good enough, and not being happy.
Yeah. Okay. Your ayahuasca story completely blows my mind and makes me feel differently about what that is.
Shift your shit.
Yeah. Shift your shit.
Your shit. Hey, that one did well. The shift your shit
episode.
Well, the journey into shamanism did well. And sober curious, people are interested in that. So what are you interested in? Please reach out to us. We've actually thought about going live on YouTube or TikTok or something like that, where you guys can do questions and answers, like you ask us questions. That would be fun. The only thing with that is if it starts getting busy, which happened to me in 2020, I had so many people that I was pulling cards for, and I couldn't keep track. So we need like a moderator.
Moderator.
Is that how you say?
Yes.
Somebody to watch the chat box and tell us who's up next and what's what. So anyway, until next time, please go to Whittier and eat beautiful.
Yeah, guys, come on by. Please, once again, do rate the show. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We're open to all of it. Love you all.
Email. shamanisabella@gmail.com. You can find these shows at shamanisabella.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all kinds of places.
We're everywhere.
Apple is the only place you can leave a review, but you can email us and tell us what you think. What do you really
That
think?
works too. Yep, for sure. All right. Love you, Isabella.
So fun.
Okay, bye.
Not over.